The scene opens on a close-up of a hand, calloused but strong, meticulously unboxing a delicate piece of high-tech equipment from a branded delivery box. We hear the soft rustle of packing material and the hum of a busy corporate office. The hand moves with a surprising gentleness and familiarity, not quite what one would expect from a typical delivery person. The camera slowly pulls back to reveal a bustling, modern corporate office. Glass walls, ergonomic desks, and employees buzzing with activity define the space. At the center is a black man, Mr. Anthony Davis, 40s, dressed in a standard, slightly worn but clean delivery uniform. He stands patiently, a delivery manifest in hand, his expression calm and observant as he waits for a signature. His demeanor, despite his uniform, carries an unusual quiet confidence. We then pan to a side of the office where a portly, expensively dressed man, 50s, Mr. Robert Sterling, the CEO, is seated at his desk, speaking loudly into a phone. He glances at Anthony, a dismissive smirk playing on his lips, then openly laughs into the phone, his gaze clearly mocking Anthony's presence and attire. The camera cuts quickly to a subliminal flashback. A year prior, Anthony, in a much more casual setting, perhaps at a negotiation table, looking sharp and focused, not a delivery driver. This brief glimpse hints at a different background and a journey of strategic ambition. Returning to the present, Anthony finishes the delivery, his expression unchanged. Sterling's laughter echoes. The humble delivery driver, whose appearance is being mocked, is about to reveal a shocking truth that will utterly dismantle the CEO's arrogance. The scene shifts back 1 year, revealing a world of meticulous planning and quiet, strategic brilliance. We find Mr. Anthony Davis, 39 at this time, in his spacious yet understated home office. It's not flashy, but highly organized. Multiple monitors display complex financial data, stock market trends, and detailed corporate structures. Books on mergers and acquisitions and deep market analysis line the shelves. Anthony is a self-made financial genius, a shrewd investor with an uncanny ability to identify undervalued companies and execute strategic acquisitions. He made his initial fortune in early tech investments, quietly building his wealth outside the public eye, often operating through shell corporations or trusted intermediaries to maintain a low profile. We see him now, meticulously analyzing balance sheets, his brow furrowed in intense concentration. He dreams of building a diversified portfolio of companies, not just for profit, but to implement ethical business practices, improve worker conditions, and challenge outdated corporate cultures. He believes in creating sustainable value, not just short-term gains, and in empowering employees. However, despite his immense wealth and strategic acumen, Anthony deliberately maintains a low public profile. He's often underestimated by established business elites who associate wealth and power with flashy displays and a certain look. He understands that bias exists, and he has learned to use it to his advantage, operating in the shadows, letting his financial moves speak louder than his physical presence. He's particularly interested in acquiring a majority stake in a company that embodies outdated, inefficient management, where he can implement significant positive change. He's identified Global Logistics Solutions, a major delivery and supply chain company, as his next target. He sees its potential, but also its current mismanagement. He's decided on an unconventional strategy: to personally embed himself within the company for a short period, working as a frontline delivery driver. This would allow him to gain first-hand insight into their operational inefficiencies, employee morale, and customer experience, information no boardroom meeting could ever provide. His trusted legal advisor, Ms. Evelyn Reed, 40s, expresses concerns about the unconventional nature of this due diligence. "Anthony, this is highly unorthodox. It's risky," she'd advise. But Anthony, with a determined glint in his eye, would reply, "To truly understand a machine, Evelyn, you must put your hands on its gears, and no one will suspect the delivery driver." He prepares for the role, embracing the anonymity, knowing that his unassuming appearance will be his greatest strategic asset. Anthony is now several months into his undercover role as a delivery driver for Global Logistics Solutions. He's fully immersed himself in the role, experiencing the daily grind, the long hours, the tight schedules, the customer complaints, and the often dismissive treatment from corporate management. He observes systemic inefficiencies, demoralized staff, and outdated practices. He sees the company's untapped potential, but also the deep-seated problems caused by its current leadership. He's developed a quiet camaraderie with his fellow drivers, understanding their struggles and their dedication. The core conflict is Anthony's internal struggle. His brilliant strategic mind and immense financial power are constantly at odds with the subservient role he performs. He's gathering crucial intelligence, observing from the bottom up, but he constantly faces the assumptions and dismissals people make about him based on his uniform and perceived status. He carries the weight of this deception, yet finds satisfaction in the raw, unfiltered truth he gains. His primary obstacle, though he watches him from afar, is a Mr. Robert Sterling, 50s, the current CEO of Global Logistics Solutions. Sterling is a complacent, arrogant executive who inherited his position and believes the company's success is entirely due to his brilliant leadership. He is notoriously dismissive of his blue-collar staff, often making condescending remarks about their lack of ambition or intellectual limitations. He rarely, if ever, visits the delivery hubs, preferring to remain cloistered in his opulent corporate office. He views the delivery drivers as interchangeable cogs, barely acknowledging their humanity and certainly not their intellect. He is known for his boisterous laughter and his tendency to mock perceived inferiors to his inner circle. Today, Anthony has a specific, high-priority delivery to Sterling's corporate office, a shipment of new, expensive boardroom furniture. It's an unusual delivery for a driver, usually handled by a specialized team, but Anthony volunteered, a strategic move to personally observe Sterling's reaction and to set the stage for his impending reveal. He navigates the corporate hallways, a financial titan in a delivery uniform, silently observing, planning, and preparing for a confrontation no one, especially Sterling, suspects. The CEO's office at Global Logistics Solutions is a testament to Robert Sterling's inflated self-importance, vast, opulent, filled with expensive art and mahogany furniture. Anthony, in his slightly worn delivery uniform, wheels in a heavy, unmarked dolly carrying a large, carefully wrapped package. He places it down and looks up, holding his delivery manifest. Sterling is at his desk, engaged in a loud phone conversation, clearly boasting about a recent business deal. Sterling glances up, annoyed by the interruption. He dismisses Anthony with a wave of his hand, not breaking eye contact with his phone. "Just leave it there, driver. I'll get to it. You people always rushing." He turns back to his call, his voice booming. "As I was saying, Bernard, it's all about leverage. You wouldn't believe the small-time players who think they can sit at the big table. Amateurs. They wear their ambition on their sleeves, but they just don't have the gravitas." Anthony patiently waits, holding out the manifest for a signature. Sterling eventually hangs up, a triumphant smirk on his face. He looks at Anthony, then his eyes travel dismissively down Anthony's uniform. He lets out a loud, mocking laugh, not even bothering to cover the phone's speaker before putting it down. Good heavens! Still here? You know, I often wonder what you delivery chaps do with your lives. All that time on the road? Do you even think? Or just follow the GPS? Quite a life, isn't it? Driving around, delivering things. Simple, uncomplicated. He gestures vaguely at Anthony's uniform, then at the package. Just leave the box. I'm busy with real business. High-level strategy. Things you wouldn't understand. His words are a direct public mockery, designed to belittle Anthony, to imply a lack of intelligence and sophistication based purely on his uniform and perceived blue-collar status. He speaks loudly enough for his executive assistant, who has just entered the room, to overhear. Anthony's face remains impassive, but his eyes, sharp and intelligent, reveal a subtle, almost imperceptible hardening. Sterling, sensing his perceived advantage, presses on, his tone becoming more overtly offensive. Honestly, a mind is a terrible thing to waste on deliveries. Go on, off you go, unless you have something profound to contribute. Perhaps about the optimal route for my afternoon latte. His implication is clear. Anthony's appearance, his identity as a delivery driver, makes him inherently inferior, incapable of understanding or participating in real business. The air in the opulent office thickens with unspoken prejudice as Sterling orchestrates a public humiliation aiming to crush Anthony's spirit and dismiss his intellect, all under the guise of getting on with business. The opulent office falls into a tense, uncomfortable silence, broken only by the distant hum of the building's ventilation. Anthony stands, the delivery manifest held steady in his hand, the weight of Robert Sterling's cruel, condescending words pressing down on him. His face remains impassive, but beneath the surface, a cold, steel resolve hardens in his eyes. This isn't just about his personal dignity, it's about every hard-working individual dismissed by arrogance and prejudice. He takes a slow, steadying breath, drawing strength from the months of undercover observation and the meticulously executed plan that brought him to this very moment. "Mr. Sterling," Anthony begins, his voice calm, clear, and perfectly modulated, cutting through the CEO's self-satisfied smirk. "I assure you, my understanding of high-level strategy and real business is quite comprehensive, more so than you could possibly imagine." He pauses, allowing his words to hang in the air, creating a deliberate moment of anticipation. Sterling scoffs, a low, dismissive sound, fully expecting a meek apology or a defensive retort. He gestures impatiently. "Oh, really? Do enlighten us, driver. What profound insights could you possibly possess?" But then the twist begins. Anthony doesn't offer a philosophical retort or a personal anecdote. He calmly places the delivery manifest on Sterling's desk, then reaches into the inside pocket of his worn delivery jacket. He pulls out a sleek, embossed document sealed with a corporate crest. He slides it across the desk to Sterling, a subtle, confident gesture. "Mr. Sterling," Anthony continues, his voice now imbued with an undeniable, devastating authority, "I didn't come here today for a signature on a delivery. My current role was simply to gain first-hand operational insights into your company's inefficiencies." He pauses, allowing the gravity of his words to sink in. "This document, which I believe you'll find quite relevant, details the successful culmination of a months-long acquisition process." Sterling's sneer falters as he picks up the document, his eyes scanning the official letterhead. His face goes utterly, profoundly white as he reads the bold print. "Notice of majority shareholder change. Global Logistics Solutions." His eyes dart to the bottom, where a familiar signature is boldly printed, followed by the title, Anthony Davis, Majority Shareholder, Global Logistics Solutions. Anthony then delivers the punchline, the twist that completely shatters Sterling's world. "So, you see, Mr. Sterling," he says, a subtle, almost imperceptible hint of satisfaction in his voice, "I don't just deliver things for Global Logistics Solutions. I now own Global Logistics Solutions. As of 8 a.m. this morning, I am your silent majority shareholder, and your services as CEO are no longer required." Sterling's smug grin freezes on his face, then shatters completely. His jaw drops. His eyes, wide with disbelief, quickly fill with a profound, horrified shock. He is utterly speechless, his arrogance stripped away, replaced by an agonizing public humiliation. The twist isn't just that Anthony is wealthy, it's that he now owns the very company he was delivering for, and the CEO he was delivering to, turning Sterling's prejudice into his own spectacular public downfall. The opulent office falls into a profound, chilling silence, broken only by Sterling's ragged breathing. Arthur Penhaligon's face, once a mask of arrogant disdain, is now contorted in pure, unadulterated horror. His jaw hangs slack, his eyes wide and unblinking, fixed on the legal document in his trembling hands. He grasps the paper as if it were a life raft, then crumples it slightly in his shock. He tries to stammer, but no words come, only a desperate, choked gasp. The man who moments ago exuded untouchable power now looks utterly destroyed, his carefully constructed world of prejudice and privilege irrevocably shattered. His executive assistant, who had paused, now openly stares, her hand over her mouth, her eyes wide with a mixture of disbelief and awe. The hushed whispers of the office staff outside the door, drawn by the sudden shift in atmosphere, grow slightly louder. Anthony, maintaining his calm, professional demeanor, allows the silence to stretch, letting the full weight of his revelation sink in. He gestures towards the crumpled document. "As you've no doubt ascertained, Mr. Sterling, the acquisition was initiated through a series of strategic off-market purchases over the past 6 months, culminating in the final transfer of majority shares this morning. My legal team, led by Ms. Evelyn Reed, is already en route to begin the transition of leadership." Sterling, still in shock, can only shake his head. But how? My board, my connections. This is impossible. You're just a delivery driver." He gestures wildly at Anthony's uniform, as if the uniform itself negates the truth. Anthony's eyes harden slightly, a subtle glint of satisfaction. "Yes, Mr. Sterling, and for the past 6 months, that just a delivery driver has been systematically observing your operational inefficiencies, your employee demoralization, and the catastrophic mismanagement of this company. Every simple delivery, every uncomplicated route, every condescending remark has provided invaluable data for the restructuring I'm about to implement." He then adds, his voice gaining a quiet, formidable power, "You often mocked those who just follow the GPS. Well, I followed a different kind of map, Mr. Sterling, the map to your company's untapped potential and its eventual ownership." Just then, the office door opens, and Ms. Evelyn Reed, 40s, sharp, impeccably dressed, enters, followed by a team of lawyers and financial advisors. She nods respectfully to Anthony, then turns to a visibly shaking Sterling. "Mr. Sterling," Evelyn says, her voice crisp and official, "as per the terms of the acquisition, you are to vacate the premises immediately. Your personal effects will be sent to your residence. Effective immediately, Mr. Davis is assuming leadership. The climax isn't just about Anthony buying the company, it's about the complete public inversion of power, the shattering of Sterling's ingrained prejudice, and the undeniable triumph of a black man's quiet brilliance, strategic genius, and unwavering patience over arrogant, classist, and racist judgment, all witnessed in a single, devastating moment. Sterling sits utterly speechless, his arrogance completely crushed, his empire now under the command of the very person he deemed unworthy. 6 months later, the transformation in Anthony's life and in global logistics solutions is profound and inspiring. We are now in the revitalized headquarters of the company, rebranded with a new, vibrant logo. The offices hum with efficient activity, new technology, and visibly happier, more engaged employees. Mr. Anthony Davis, now the executive chairman and de facto leader, moves through the open-plan offices, interacting warmly with his diverse team, his leadership hailed as revolutionary within the industry. He's implemented ethical practices, improved worker benefits, and invested heavily in technology, transforming a stagnant company into a thriving, forward-thinking enterprise. He's proving that genuine leadership and sustainable profit go hand in hand. A quick cut to a pristine, but surprisingly empty, golf course. Mr. Robert Sterling is there, alone, dressed in casual golf attire. He moves with a quiet, almost defeated air, his once imposing presence visibly diminished. He's been forced into early retirement, his reputation in tatters, and he's largely shunned by his former peers. He glances occasionally at business news on his phone, perhaps seeing articles about global logistics solutions skyrocketing success, a constant public reminder of his profound misjudgment. He looks around nervously, avoiding eye contact with any passing groundskeepers or golf carts, haunted by the very blue-collar presence he once mocked. The story of the delivery driver who bought the company and ousted its arrogant CEO became an industry legend, widely shared as a powerful lesson about judging based on appearances and prejudice. Sterling carries that weight, a subtle public reminder of his profound arrogance. He now knows, viscerally, that true power, strategic genius, and leadership reside not in outdated biases or inherited wealth, but in sharp minds, unwavering determination, and genuine merit, regardless of who possesses them. The corporate world, and perhaps even Sterling himself, learned a valuable lesson. The person you dismiss the quickest might just be the one who owns your entire world.